to GSP and Soccer Joint Podcast. We are here to reimagine the playing field in women's football with female game changers. My name is Ruza, FF Serbia grassroots manager, sports industry specialist, and former football referee.
Hi everyone.
Let's
Welcome
empower
to
the girls with this
GSP and
episode.
Soccer Joint
Big round of applause for
I
my
have
next
the pleasure
guest.
today to host Eduarda Domingues, a soccer lady from Portugal, but also she happens to be a lady of many sports, which we will hear in a minute. So welcome to our podcast, and I'm happy to speak with you about girls in sports.
Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to talk about football here and sports in general.
Speaking of, you mentioned that you have started playing many sports when you were so young. So how that happened? Who influenced you to go to the sports way?
Okay. So my parents influenced me to play different sports when I was a child. I did everything. And 7 years ago, um, a friend of mine invited me to play football with her in a local club. We were the only girls at the time in that club, and I really enjoyed that. I knew that it was my favorite sport, and I knew that I wanted to do that for life. I dreamed to do that. Unfortunately, it wasn't possible, but yeah, I really like that sport, that feeling of winning, everything.
Can you tell us why that dream is impossible for you to continue your football career?
Nowadays, it's harder. My quality isn't the best as the others. And last year, I had an injury on my leg, but I hope to return to football next year. In this time, when I didn't play, I take a coach degree, the UFSC, and I think that this is really important. I know that now I'm a better player because I can know the perspective of the coach, and I think I improve a lot on that point.
Well, this is a really good message, especially in terms of whenever you face an obstacle in your playing career, you can also continue the football path outside of the pitch. For example, I'm a former football referee, but now I work in a football federation of Serbia. So I stayed connected to football in other way outside of the pitch, which is also the way how you can pursue your dreams and your passion and stay connected to sports.
Yeah.
So this is a really good message coming from you, and of course understanding the coaches now even better.
Yeah.
When you started playing with boys, when you were the only girl, how that feel? Did you feel welcomed by
So
them? Were they your support?
yeah. So I think actually it was better for me because the level was higher, and they pushed us to be better. And there weren't any big physical differences in that age. So my colleagues received us well, and I actually felt more injustice from other teams. Like they sometimes they couldn't accept that they have lost a game against the girls. So that were the only time that I felt some injustice.
Yes, this is some prejudice and the way how they wanna, let's say, stick to you if they lose from you. But it's a good thing
Yeah.
because I believe it made you tougher. It built your character. So this is only a positive thing in sports, even though at that point it looked like it's something bad. And now, but you also said, and I know that you have some, let's say, medals from other sports, like there is table tennis and so on.
Yes.
So how did you connect table tennis with football?
How I connect? Well, it's really different, and I prefer collective sports because I like to play as a team, to win as a team, to lose as a team. And in table tennis, we don't have that. We play alone, we suffer alone, and we only depend of us. In football, it's different. We have to play as a team. We have to take risks. So the only thing that is the same is the passion for sport, to be active, to do that.
And later on, when you joined the female team coming from the boys team, what was the biggest difference for you playing with girls compared to the period of time when you played with boys?
The level wasn't the same actually. It was worse, and we had some problems finding girls to join us. Um, but it had positive points, of course. We play with girls. We know each other better than boys. So in the field, it was different. It was better. We were all connected. That was the positive point.
Yes, but in terms of differences in football, you spoke about the level, but what can you say about, let's say, games with boys? Were they more physical or more tactical? And the girls, was that more tactical, more technique? What are those differences that we can now speak of from that perspective?
Yeah, in the with the boys, it was more physical. Everything was physical. Uh, our practices were really physical. With the girls, it was another process. We watch a lot of games from our opposite team. It was very tactical. We enter in a game and we knew exactly what we were supposed to do. We studied that during the week. It was really more tactical and not so physical.
And now, when you look on those differences, what do you like more? Do you like more physical side of the game or tactical side of the game?
Yeah. So I actually prefer the more physical part of the boys, but I like the way that our coaches watch football, which means like in the team of girls, we study a lot the other teams. We study a lot football. We earn a lot of knowledge about football in general, just learning with them and how we could win that team. Like the other girls were taller and older than us, but we had to win because we study everything that they did, their mistakes, their goals, how they defend, how they attacked, and I like that how we study football with girls.
The way how you speak like a proper future coach, let's say like this, and you
I hope so.
and you are now let's say collecting all those finance from your coaches. So is this career that you would like to take on, let's say, the highest level, like to be, I don't know, the best women's coach that existed in your
Yeah.
country, or even more than that? Is this the dreams that you have now from this perspective?
Yeah, it's absolutely my dream. I also have a reference here in Portugal. She's Mariana Cabral. She's the coach of Sporting, the one of the best teams in Portugal, and I like her because she started more or less like me. She take a degree in journalism, and she also played. And at some point, she knew that she had to make a choice, and she had to take the degree. And when it was possible to dream of becoming a coach, she studied a lot, and I like the way that she sees the game, and I inspired myself in her, and I try to do the same. I can't focus my degree, but in other perspective, I also study to be a better coach, to know how I can improve myself and my players. And I like to study really the game, to watch all the games, not the big one. I like to go to the street and to watch like the local teams also. It's a passion that I have. So my dream is to work with sports, if possible with football. If not, I'm lucky at same from working with sports.
Well, you should definitely go for your dreams because there is no way that somebody passionate as you are would not come there. But what I liked in this story of yours is the fact that you have a female role model in football, which
Yeah.
is really important, especially for girls. It is important to build female role models for them to be seen and for you to see them in a proper way.
Yeah.
So, but was that a case always like that, or this changed in last couple of years? Because now we have more and more role models.
Yeah.
But what was the case when you started playing football?
So when I started playing football, I can't remember a game that I have watched with the girls playing on it. I had the reference Marta, and I only knew Marta from the highlights on YouTube. I've never watched a game of her on live stream. And nowadays, I think Portugal did a good job here. The federation created a channel. It's called the 11 channel, and it's a channel in the TV where it only produces and shows games, and more specifically female girls with girls. And we have now some role models. Now the girls that are starting, they can dream with the role models. We have Kika and Jessica Silva, that are girls that are a role model not just inside of the field but also outside. That's something that I consider very important
And what they are
to
doing
to
outside of the
this.
pitch, what they are doing outside of pitch that make you see them as a role model outside of the pitch too, not only on the pitch.
So, for example, Jessica is a model. She represents, she acts, and she is very political active on social media. Kika is also very active on social media. She is a young girl. She is also studying, and she is very funny. Actually, she does some TV shows also, and this is all things that are important
Yes, of course, they are
to the game.
using their influence to actually
Yeah,
raise awareness about football in a different way, to
yeah.
maybe motivate and support young girls to dream big and to believe that they can end up being where they are. But if there is one thing that you would like to change in football now, what that would be, especially for girls?
For girls, to give them more visibility through live streams, through conditions. I think that's the main change to the girls.
How did you feel when Portugal played the World Cup last year? Was that something that changed and influenced your women's football in your country? Because I don't know if they were
Yeah.
first time in the World Cup as a women's
Yes,
national
it
team,
was. It
but
was first
I
time.
remember that because they played Serbia
Yeah,
in qualifying period.
it was story actually. No, I think it was very important. Actually, I started playing football in the year after Portugal won the Europe
Yes.
in 2016. So this year it was very important because all the channels talk about that. We have an increase of girls playing football because of that, because they dream to be on TV, they dream to be like them. I think that was really important. Not we don't consider the results that they had. Of course, it is important, but I think that the best thing in that was really the influence that they had in young girls.
Yes, and they actually show them that if you work hard and dream big, you can end up playing the
Yeah,
world championship. And but we cannot speak about Portuguese football and not mention Cristiano Ronaldo. He really did influence
yeah,
so many boys and girls. But as a
yeah.
girl from Portugal, how you can comment a superstar like Cristiano, especially the way how he played for the national team?
He's a role model for all of us, not just for the Portuguese people. and the way that he worked hard, the way that he had to do a lot of things, to take a lot of risks to be where he is right now. He had to left his home with 12 years old. That are some things that we should inspire us to be better people, better player, and to have an impact in the world as he had.
Yes, I always like to use him as somebody who represents those hard workers who really are
Yeah,
pushing themselves above the limit. But what really amazed me about Cristiano is the way how he plays for the national team, how he loves to play for
yeah,
Portugal. This is really nice. So
yeah,
and this is also a good message that we girls can be inspired by boys too. So but it is also more important to raise the female role models, to support them around it and to change the game for them. So
yeah.
thank you very much for discussing this important topic with
Thank
me.
you.
And I hope to see you as a coach and some Euro or the World Cup in the
I hope
future.
so.
Yes, and before we finish this lovely episode, what would be your message for all the girls who may listen what you were speaking now?
So for all that girls, I would the advice that I would give to them is to enjoy the game, the environment, to take risks, and not to be afraid to fail because it's part of the process.
Phenomenal. I think I will write this quote later on when we publish the episode. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Big shout out to European Union for co-financing this project as a part of the cooperation partnership in field of sports.